Hey, this is not TV. Blah! We ain't playing no games, man. We in the home of the truth. You ain't fucking with the boy Knock, man. You ain't doing shit out here. You hear me? We straight from Chicago to Vegas. We holding this shit down, man. We holding it down for the truth, man. We represent real, nigga. Fuck with it or get ran the fuck over, man.
It's like that, baby.
We about war, we about war. Don't make my hitters come to your front door. We about war, we about war. Don't make my hitters come to your front door.
Live a life in the war zone, you see it then. War report, Campanori, it's a CNN. Can't see the end, body code and repeat again.
Right, man,
another brother lost, another brother
TV, man.
It's no
telling people who you are, where you from.
Yeah, what's going on, man? I'm not the top officer of 500.
My brother Drew grabbed the Desi 50 caliber.
ISUPK Sacramento, ISUPK Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? We out here in Las Vegas chilling with the Akim.
Yeah.
Take over Vegas one time.
Yeah. Alright. So first question, man. First question. You know what I'm saying? So first thing, you from the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, no, I'm from Sacramento, but it's Northern California. It's not the Bay, but it's Northern California.
See, I'm gonna tell you,
like an hour away.
Anybody that's not from Cali, they just think LA.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cali is LA.
Right,
Everything is LA.
It's two different cultures, like damn near. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
LA is considered like San Bernardino.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Watts, Pasadena, all that's LA.
Right.
And then you come up north, you got Stockton, you got Sacramento, you got the Bay Area, which includes Oakland.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? San Francisco,
Gotcha.
and all that.
I heard Oakland, but you lost me in Stockton. You know what I'm saying? So Sacramento is not the Bay Area.
No, it's not.
Yeah. You got me on that one. You know what I'm saying? I would have been said Sacramento, the Bay Area. Shout out to the Bay Area.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So all right, so you from Sacramento or the Bay Area, that up top Northern Cali. How'd you hear the truth up there? How'd you find the UPK up there?
Well, shit, I found it at first, just you know what I'm saying, getting out of prison, watching Sonetter. You know what I'm saying? I see Captain Zariak Blaze on
big
everybody.
shout out Captain Zariak.
Yeah, big shout out to him. And I see basically I just seen ISUPK one taking no L's on YouTube at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, who is these dudes? They didn't battle everybody that's worth battling and destroyed them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I first found about the truth was you know what I'm saying, on YouTube.
Right. Okay, so what happened then?
So then after that, you know what I'm saying, I really didn't know if it was brothers out here to join with. I still was in the world, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Gang banging,
right.
Going back and forth to jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For fresh out of prison for doing 5 years.
Right.
So I really wasn't trying to jump all the way into it and change my life and become that new man. I still want to, you know what I'm saying, do what I wanted to do when I was in the world.
Right.
So then ultimately I ended up going on the run for something, and I was on a run for like a year. You know what I'm saying? I was on ankle monitor, cut my ankle monitor off. I'm thinking I'm finna go back to the pen and do life this time. You know what I'm saying? So when with me being on the run, I ended up going to Nashville. You know what I'm saying? I stayed in Nashville probably for like 6-7 months. And I'm calling, I got the number to the Nashville school online, and I'm calling the school, blowing them up like, man, I did something dumb. You know what I'm saying? I'm down there finna go get life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I already been in the pen and all that. And the brothers told me like, man, look, just come to class, bro. We gonna give you counsel. Come holler at me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Captain the Shock. You know what I'm saying?
Big shout out to Captain.
Not Captain the Shock, but Officer the Shock in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And he gave me counsel, and he let me know, like, man, don't be scared to turn yourself in. Christ had a warrant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He had a warrant for his death. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to murder him. But he like, don't be scared to turn yourself in. Whatever it is you gotta face, just face it. You know what I'm saying? And if you beat that shit, just come into the school. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I never knew Christ had no warrant. That was something different hearing that. So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. So ultimately, I went to class probably like twice in Nashville. I stopped going because I was still smoking and all that stuff, and I didn't feel right being around the brothers doing that. So I ended up coming back to California, turning myself in, and I did like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And then they didn't even want me for nothing that I thought they wanted me for. They just wanted me for cutting my ankle monitor off. So I'm like, damn, that is deep. You know what I'm saying? So after that, I'm like, man, I'm through with all that. I ain't trying to go back to the prison. I ain't trying to do none of that no more. So as soon as I got out first day, I called Karak, Officer of 5,000, ISUPK Bay Area.
Shout out Karak.
You know what I'm saying? I called him. I told him, like, man, look, I'm doing my time. I'm finna get on 6 months. I'm finna join the school. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I got out, I joined the school. You know what I'm saying? I had long dreads all the way down my back. First time I went to camp, cut them off. Y'all stop, cut them off. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all what's up?
And after that, I just been trying to stand firm in this truth.
Right.
Got my Hebrew name, and it was the history from there.
So this question might be redundant, but it's probably gonna be another answer. So how has life changed? Like, what's the different path that you live based on you being in the truth? You know what I'm saying, as opposed to you in the world.
Man, the biggest thing is like, you know what I'm saying, like being from up North California, we hella big like on gang culture.
Right.
So what changed that, like I don't live my life trying to gangbang no more. You know what I'm saying? Gangbanging don't revolve around my life no more. You know what I'm saying? Smoking weed and just doing everything that I was doing in the world, I don't do that no more. I feel like basically like at peace. I feel like I can walk around and I ain't got to worry about the police. I ain't got to worry about rival gang members. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to worry about nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? So basically just keeping these laws under command and how to, it changed my life a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff that I was scared of in the world that I don't even worry about no more. You know what I'm saying?
So all right, so you know I'm from Philly, man. We from the East Coast, man. So you live in that world. We don't know what that world is like. So being as though that you here, can you talk a little bit about the gang culture, like not about the politics and all that, but just what it like to be in that environment. Because we don't live in that environment.
Yeah, it's like everything is color, you know what I'm saying? Blue and red, cliques, streets, and stuff like that. And a lot of the times when you growing up in Northern California, you might not even want to be a gamer, you might be a basketball player, but if your grandma from that neighborhood, then that's where you from, and ain't nobody trying to hear nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So you really don't have no choice but to gang bang. And it's like, you know what I'm saying, if you not a person that go out and murder for your gang, you nobody. You know what I'm saying? You consider nobody. You know what I'm saying? So that's especially up North California, that's what our gang life is about. You know what I'm saying? It's about straight just murder. That's if you ain't murder nobody, then shut your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like up North California is big on that, man. They big on gang banging and, you know what I'm saying, selling drugs and all that type of stuff.
So that's crazy. I never even knew it like that. So how could you get that street life up? You know what I'm saying, to come into a life like this?
Man, just realizing that you doing that to your people don't make you no gangster. You know what I'm saying? What make you a gangster is changing your life. You know what I'm saying? And raising your kids in a way that they don't have to follow your same footsteps in the same path that you took.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I realized that that's what makes you a real gangster. Going to pick up a gun and going to sell dope to get money or whatever it is that you do in the world, none of that stuff that we think make us gangsters. Listen to rappers that make it sound good. Like they tell you the good side about it, but they don't tell you that you're going to go through 25 years of life and everybody going to leave you except your grandma.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't tell you that bad side. So once you really grow up and start to become a man, like I seen a brother post on Facebook. I didn't know brotherhood. I didn't know what brotherhood was. I didn't know what manhood was until I understood brotherhood. You understand? And that's true. You know what I'm saying? That's true. Like I didn't understand none of that until I understand brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? And then now that I understand brotherhood, I fully understand manhood. You know what I'm saying? And I know that if you do that, it's gonna be done to you, or your kids gonna follow the same footsteps. But it's not. We already tried everything. You know what I'm saying? It's not healthy for our community to still live like that. And we've been doing it for 30, 40 years. Right. You understand? So yeah, I just woke up, man.
Now let me ask you, okay, so you've been in the gang, right? So what's the brotherhood like versus them and versus where you at now? Because one pillar we stand on is brotherhood as a weapon. You see what I'm saying? So we think that gang culture is a concept of brotherhood. So can you speak on that?
Right. Well, the difference between brotherhood and ISUPK and brotherhood in the world is like brothers in the world, they have a sense of brotherhood, but it's not really brotherhood. Like they think that just because you got 5 on the blunt and he got 5 on the blunt, y'all smoke with each other, that's brotherhood. Oh, this my nigga, he came over here and smoked with me, that's not brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Brotherhood is, you know what I'm saying, the brothers I go to camp with, we go to camp, we call the white men the devil. Right. I know they putting their life on the line for something greater than just the gang or the street. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference right there. Like just because you wake up and smoke with somebody, that don't mean that that's brotherhood. So they just got a false sense of brotherhood, but at the same time, it's still brotherhood because, you know what I'm saying, we warrior like people. Somebody killed my cousin, I'm going, of course, want to kill them. But like that's not real brotherhood.
So all right, so as a kid, like when you was young, you know what I'm saying, coming up in the gang culture, how did you get mixed up in it?
Man, I got mixed up in it just being around my cousins, being around my dad. You know what I'm saying? My dad, 40-some years old, he still what I'm saying, with the shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? And just growing up around just crack infested houses, you know what I'm saying? A whole family gang banging, you know what I'm saying? Going back and forth from California to St. Louis, and just being around just being in poverty. You know what I'm saying? You really don't have no choice. You know what I'm saying? You grew up in certain neighborhoods, like I said, if your grandma stayed there, you know what I'm saying? Whether you play football, basketball, you consider yourself in the streets or not. If your grandma stayed there, then you a gang member.
So it's based off your grandma?
It's based off wherever you grew up at. You went to elementary at, middle school, high school. That's where you from. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no choice. If you live in a neighborhood and they big on gang culture, then you from that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Whether you was on the block with them, whether you was selling dope with them, going to shoot at people, you know what I'm saying? When other people see you that's not from that neighborhood, that's used to seeing you, they gonna be like, man, where you grew up at, where your grandma stayed? Oh, that's where you from there. You know what I'm saying? They gonna treat you accordingly.
So you was in it, so you pretty much born in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And by the time you was in elementary, middle school, you was already wrapped up in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when did you actually start flagging and, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Probably like 12, 13.
Jesus Christ.
12, 13.
That's rough, man. Like, we don't live like that. I mean, we don't live like that across the globe. You know what I'm saying? That's just exclusive. You got to believe that it's exclusive to Cali and probably other cities that adopt that culture. Right. But it's really exclusive to Cali, man. Like in Philly, it's a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to just make this about Philly versus Cali. But what I'm saying is, man, like the world is bigger than we think it is. You know what I'm saying? It's much bigger than we may see. It's much bigger than our block. It's much bigger than our city. Much bigger than our state. You feel what I'm saying? So, man, we appreciate you, whatever you brought to the table, man. Any last words you got to say to our two followers and our 7 subscribers, man?
You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to ISUPK Sacramento, ISUPK Oakland, right. ISUPK period. You know what I'm talking about? And big ups to all the brothers that's Oakland.
Right.
You know that's it.
You know what I mean? All right.
So we got to represent for the culture. Niggas coming out here with all this funny color hair, skinny jeans and shit. Fuck that, nigga. We taking it back to the fringes. Motherfucking Spikes, nigga, representing for the Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? Angry Black Man Media, nigga. We getting it in. We bringing that real shit back.
I match my guns with the sneaks. That's my fashion week. Go ask the streets. Dog, we got massive beef. We pass elite. Play this on blast, repeat. Let it go worldwide. Let the masses peep. I don't care if she thick or her ass petite. She want war with the D. She a casualty. Long as she don't got no limits like I'm Master P.
Night TV, you ain't watching TV, bitch.
That's
just what time it is. You want the latest of what's going on? You gotta be tuned in to Night TV, subscribe, hit the like button, and get in tune with the truth. Get in tune with the real niggas.
Right.
Real niggas, real man of the Lord. Like, hey, no. Go with it.
That's what it
We're real men of the Lord. You ain't watching Knox TV, you ain't watching TV, you watching some bullshit.
Right.
Right. You want to be around the winners, right? You don't want to be around losers, right? You want to be around winners. That's what life is about, baby.
Right.
Being around winners,
right.
Not losers.
Right. That's right.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fuck up, and it's back to the streets. It's one word. You can check the residency.
Back, man. We here, we live in effect, man. With the man himself, man. Tell the people who you are, where you from.
Officer 5,000 Power Ride in Nashville, Tennessee.
Red rum. Got you fucking scared some. Get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black block, red drum, black and yellow air ones.
To the key, baby. All right, man. So look, man, if you could take the people back to that day when you decided to say, this life I'm living ain't the life I should be living. I gotta change my life. Take the people back to that day. How was that?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Coming up, you know what I mean? I'm from I live in Nashville, but I'm from West Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Memphis, Brotherhood, Tennessee.
Memphis.
You know what
Shout
I'm saying?
Memphis.
And I grew up, you know what I mean, gang banging and shit, you know what I mean, Vice Lord. Grew up a Vice Lord, you know what I'm saying? All throughout high school, moved to Nashville, and there wasn't too many people, you know, on what I was on from where I was from. You know what I'm saying? So I was the only one like it, you know what I mean? Only one a Vice Lord where I was, you know what I mean, in Nashville. So, you know what I mean? High school was, you know, like a lone wolf type thing, you know what I mean? But yeah, I ran it, then, you know what I'm saying, found the UPK, you know what I'm saying? Found the UPK, and, you know, we ran it like that.
So you Vice Lord, that's more like Hispanic, a Hispanic type gang, right? Like the Nietas, right?
You got the Latin Kings from Chicago. That's a Chicago gang.
Okay.
It's a Chicago gang, you know what I'm saying? Latin Kings. They are allied Vice Lord, you know what I mean? But it ain't no Hispanic gang, you know what I'm saying? It's a black gang, you know what I mean? A Judite gang. You know what I mean?
So how you wind up getting clicked out with that gang?
Where I'm from, Brotherhood, Tennessee, West Tennessee, it's too much. It's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, Chicago gangs. Chicago gangs, you know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, Chicago gangs, you know what I'm saying? And this is what it is, you know what I mean? Where I'm from, it ain't really LA gangs. It ain't really Bloods and Crips.
Right.
I ain't even know what a Blood and Crip was until I moved to Nashville. In Nashville, it's LA gangs, your more mainstream gangs, you know what I mean? Bloods and Crips.
Right.
But where I was from, Chicago gangs, you know what I mean? Vice Lord, GD, you had Black P Stones here and there. So that's how I got involved in that, you know what I mean? And the crazy thing about it is I grew up with a cousin. I grew up with my cousin, you know what I'm saying? And we all grew up Vice Lord. He stayed in Vice Lord. I eventually came out due to certain circumstances. And that brother, my cousin, ended up in prison to this day. And I found the truth, you know what I'm saying?
Damn, shout out to him.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, he doing this big. Just to show you, what I mean, ain't nothing to that life but prison. Well, you gonna end up dead, you know what I mean? You gonna end up dead, you know what I'm saying? But
all right, so how you find the truth? Like, all right, I know one day you decided to give it all up and say, man, fuck that shit. What was that day like?
That day was like, I'm gonna tell you what that shit was like. When I found the truth, you know what I'm saying? When I found the truth, it wasn't your typical thing, because by the time I found the UPK, that's what I consider the truth. The truth is the ISUPK under Commander General Yonkers. Right. By the time I found the ISUPK, I had already quit smoking. You know what I mean? Quit smoking, quit gang banging, quit dealing drugs, quit breaking in. I used to be a big, I used to break in houses.
Shout out to everybody that's B&E, man. Watch this joint.
You know what I'm saying? I used to break in houses. I used to break in cars. Yeah, I used to break in houses. I used to break in cars. So I had quit all that shit, you know what I mean, 3 years prior before I found the UPK. My biggest issue with coming into the UPK was leaving a fake Israelite group.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying? By the time I found the UPK, I had already quit smoking. I was trying to live, you know what I mean, a righteous way of life.
Right.
Keeping the law, you know what I mean? I had already done that. You know what I'm saying? I already quit smoking weed and quit eating pork. I had left Vice Lord then, you know what I mean, 3 years prior. So my biggest deal was coming into the UPK. My biggest deal was having to leave a fake Israelite group.
Right.
Feeling like, you know what I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. If you in a fake Israelite group, you ain't gotta feel no type of way, man. You ain't gotta feel no type of way. Cause what I was battling with was the whole aspect of being deemed as disloyal. Let me tell you something. When you follow Christ, ain't nothing disloyal about you. It's the world against Christ.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I chose to follow Christ, and I chose UPK. So yeah, when I found the UPK, I was in the fake Israelite group, and I had chose to lead that group, and I chose to follow Commander Giuliani.
All right, so you left that group. Now comes a day where you like, all right, boom, I'm gonna drop this color, put this situation on. I'm gonna drop this uniform or this outfit or this doctrine. I'm gonna put this one on, or this armor, or this spirit, or this body. You know what I mean? So all right, so what was that day like?
Man, that day was glorious, man. That was the day I had let everything go. That was the day it was a relief, actually. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before that, you know what I mean? The nigga was feeling like, you know what I mean, I was doing something wrong by leaving the fake Israelite group. But you know what? I had decided that, man, look, if I'm finna get in this, I'm finna drop everything that I thought that was right. I'm finna learn all over again. I was in a fake Israelite group, so everything I learned from them, nigga thought that was right. Nigga thought that's what it was. Nigga thought I was keeping the law and all that. But when I found the UPK, I was like, you know what? I'm finna learn all over again, and it was a breath of fresh air.
Right.
Because now I know what it really is. I know it's really this what it really is. I'm with real niggas, you know what I'm saying? I'm with real niggas. I can be myself, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I come from a background of gangbanging. I come from a background of getting high, smoking weed, selling drugs, all that. And the UPK is for brothers from that background.
Right.
Yeah, of course, we got all kind of walks of life coming into the UPK. But when you look at other Israelite groups, they look down on brothers like that's in the UPK.
Right, exactly.
From the streets.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So when I seen the UPK, I was like, you know what, I can be who I came up as.
Right.
But on the right hand side, following the Lord.
Right, you don't gotta castrate yourself.
Exactly. So when I found the UPK, you know what I'm saying, it was a breath of fresh air.
All right. So you over your zone. So what was it like assuming that position to be over a zone that nobody was in?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, it was interesting. You know what I'm saying? It was interesting. I ain't know if I could do it. I'm gonna tell you, like, when you a camp leader and you trying to build up a zone, the best advice you can take is just follow orders. Like, everybody think that you building up a zone is about you trying to take over and trying to be the big bad, big bad man. But it's really you following orders. It's really you following some captain telling you what to do.
Right.
And you making that move. And then you get brothers up under you, like, you know what I'm saying? The whole reason why my zone exists, Nashville, Tennessee, is because of the brothers up under me, Officer Nashot, you know what I'm saying, Officer Parak Abor, Officer Naquan, you know what I'm saying, Trooper Darakia, Trooper Hakulai. Them the brothers that really make things run in Nashville.
Shout out everybody in Nashville. Shout out the old Tennessee.
Yeah, man.
Shout out Capsock Jeezy.
Yeah, man. Captain Sock, he doing this thing. He trying to get that thing up and running in Memphis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's really what it is. Like, it ain't no, you know what I'm saying? It ain't no thing to where, oh, yeah, I can build up a camp and then you go and do it. It's really you following orders.
Right.
Just working with the circumstances that the Lord give you.
Exactly. Right. All right. So now you working with the circumstances. Now you building camp equipment and you going out to camp and you doing the things that was called for you to do. But was you really ready to accept those responsibilities as a man? You know what I'm saying? Because life is pulling you two different ways at this point. So what was that battle like?
You know what? Like, it was to the point where when you come into the UPK, you gotta be ready to put up or shut up. And that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? I gotta prove to these men like I can do what I'm signing up for. And that's what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? I had to show and prove. I had to get up there and, you know, build these camp signs, pick this camp spot, go to camp on this camp spot and hold it down for this certain amount of time, and bring in men and women from this camp spot that you said you would bring in men and women from. So when you do that, it's all about showing and proving. You know what I'm saying? Was I ready for it? I don't know. Shit, I had to be. Exactly. I don't know if I was ready for it or not, but
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I made it do what it was gonna do.
Right. All right. So now you at this camp spot, right?
Yeah.
Now this infamous video comes out of you blazing on a whole nother situation, a whole nother group of people that try to come against you.
Yeah.
Right. Now, can you walk us through what happened post, prior, and during this video that happened or this transpired?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just to bag it up a little bit, the fake Israelite group I was in before I came to the UPK was IUIC. And the brother that approached me, you know what I'm saying, we knew each other. We was real familiar with each other. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it was like he felt comfortable to talk to me. I mean, he felt comfortable talking to me. Like we was gonna do some one-on-one shit, like we know each other. He just don't know. I'm a whole new man. I done came up under Commander Chaniana. It's a whole nother thing going. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother thing going. I'm a whole nother person now. This ain't the same nigga that you knew that was in that purple. You get what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? It was the only reason we picked that spot was, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so IUIC hold camp in North Nashville, which is where our school is at. Our school is right across the street from where IUIC be at in North Nashville. I had originally picked that spot to hold camp back in 2017. You know what I'm saying? But because the UPK camps, our camps are so large with the camp equipment and whatever, you know what I mean? We chose to go downtown. You know what I'm saying? So where we can have more room and put up all our camp equipment and whatsoever. So we moved downtown. But by then, some white devil had bombed the goddamn camp spot. So when we couldn't have that camp spot,
literally bombed it.
Yeah, he literally set a bomb off. You know what I mean? In Nashville, if you back in Christmas, December 25th in 2020, some devil had blew up Nashville, and that was our camp spot. You know what I'm saying? That was our camp spot. So for what 2 months? 2 months we wasn't going to camp because our camp spot had been bombed. But I was talking to shout out to Captain Kahan Yard.
Shout out Captain Kahan.
Yeah, I was talking to him and we was like, man, when we gonna go to camp? We can't just not go to camp because some devil decided to, you know what I mean, blow the spot up. So we ended up going back to the spot that we originally chose. It just so happened that IUIC was going there anyway. But the thing is, they know that we got a school right there too, but they go there anyway. You know what I'm saying? They go there anyway. So we say, you know what, we finna set up camp. We finna just say, fuck them niggas. You know what I mean? We finna hold camp right here, our school right here. They ain't got no business out here in the first place. They know we over here. So we set up camp, and the niggas approach us on some, you know, he think because he know me, he can talk to me, you know, on some cool shit. But really, I know what you about because you got 15 niggas with you. You trying to make me an example. You know what I mean? You trying to make me, you know what I mean? Trying to make shit seem like you punking me or some shit. You know what I mean? So, of course, you know what I mean? I didn't, you know, take that shit lightly, and I took it for what it was. You know what I mean? And that's what you see in that video.
Now, that was a tense, very tense situation. Very tense. You know what I mean? Now, as far as the intensity in the situation, how'd you maintain your cool and knowing that, you know, so many people was watching, knowing that, you know what I mean, so many people would see, or what was it like maintaining your cool and keeping a level head? Because what you said was, if I'm a hoe, treat me like a hoe, right? Which was justified because the things he said, oh, well, you want to get gangster, we could get gangster. and he invited you to get gangster, and you called him on his bullshit. You said let's go, and then he copped the play, right? So in theory, you was right. Everything you said was absolutely correct. But maintaining your sanity, maintaining your integrity and your dignity and all that situation, what was that like?
I mean, it was what it was. Shit, that nigga tried to act like, you know, it was something. He invited all the smoke.
Right.
And I was just with it.
Right.
Shit, if you want to take it though, we can take it though.
Right.
But he didn't take it though.
Right.
To show you what he really was about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he walked up on us, you know, watching. IUIC had made a video with Barack from HODC. IUIC made a video with them, you know, checking Barack. And I was just like, man, you ain't finna do us like that. I wish a nigga would try to run up on us like that. And it just so happened the nigga did. You know what I'm saying? The same group of niggas, because when you look at that video with Barack from HODC, them niggas was in Memphis, Tennessee. So them niggas that rolled up on us in Nashville was familiar with that situation. It was the same group of niggas that rolled up on Barack. You know what I'm saying? It was the same group of niggas. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there, I'm looking at that video, man. I wish a nigga would run up on us like that. And it just so happened that they did. And I'm gonna tell you something, like, any brother in the UPK would have did what I did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't nothing special. I'm just doing what Commander General Hunter trained me to do, Jeremiah Hunter trained me to do, the Hebrew Academy trained me to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing, I don't mean to spill the beans on Hebrew Academy, but one thing you're gonna learn coming to Hebrew Academy is to defend yourself. And that's what I was doing when them brothers confronted me. You know what I'm saying? When niggas confronted me, I'm trying to make them make the first move.
Right.
You know what I mean? You were invited to smoke.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? What it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You say you gonna do it, you say you trying to get gangster and this and that, then let's take it there.
Right.
But they just didn't do it. But if they would have took it there, it would have went down.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And it's more heavy because, you know what I mean? Like, okay, them niggas was not really about that action. But what make it more heavy is, you know, like, okay, he was right, you know, and them niggas was not right.
Right.
And it wasn't just who's wrong and who's right. I mean, but by him even saying the things he said, like, oh, F General Yohana, and he made it more of an emotional battle.
Yeah.
Instead of a battle about the truth, or instead of a battle about anything else. It was more so about whose corner, whose block, and whose street this is, apart from anything else. You know what I mean? Which really made you right and made you, look like the person that you shouldn't look like that day. You know what I mean? So shout out to you, shout out to the Most High. You know what I mean, if y'all ain't never seen that, man, check out 15 Cowards vs. 1 Man on YouTube. I mean, this brother is a viral internet sensation.
What is it about? Keeping a whole camp. Is it about hatred? You want some animal, bro? You want some animal? You want problems or what? Do you want problems? All about war. All about war. All about. We all about war. What I'm saying, that's what you want. That's what you want to take. That's what you. Let's get it then. Let's get it then. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, what's up then? What's up? You a hoe in a whole camp. We finna whole camp. You a hoe. You a hoe. You a bitch, nigga. You a bitch, nigga. You a bitch. If I'm a hoe, treat me like a fucking hoe, nigga. If I'm a hoe, treat me like a hoe, nigga. Nigga, you ain't gotta stand in front of us, nigga. You ain't nigga. Hit Larry Hoover. Hit Larry Hoover. Get the fuck off my face, nigga. Larry Hoover block. Nigga, yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Because he stood strong in the face of adversity. He stood strong when the cowards trying to come at him, and he stood strong and showed what the Most High looks like. Warrior. I mean,
I just want to say something, like, that shit wasn't about no block. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was going to camp business as usual. Like I said, we had chose that camp spot. We just chose somewhere else too.
Right.
And because that second camp spot we chose got bombed by some white devil, we went back to the camp spot that we originally picked. It just so happened IUIC was across the street. That shit wasn't about no camp spot. Like, it be different people over there all the time. IUIC be over there. Christians be over there. IUIC is Christians. That's what I told him. You know what I'm saying? It be all kind of people over there trying to do their thing. You know what I mean? We just want to set up and hold camp. Business as usual. You know what I'm saying? We just want to speak our topics, set up, and teach the people how it's supposed to be done. We just want to ignore IUIC.
Right.
Because they fucked up and approached us. That's how it went down. It wasn't even about no block. We was gonna leave them alone. But really, them niggas, they claim to be victims. Them niggas claim to be victims, like they ran up on us and we treated them like they was victims. But they tried to be bullies and we bullied the bullies.
Right. They do was old.
Yeah.
That's true. That's crazy. All right, man. So anything you want to say to our 3 subscribers, our 2 followers out there, man?
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something. If you in a fake Israelite group, man, in a fake Israelite group, and you think you got what it takes to be in a UPK, you know what I mean? If you gonna do that shit, then do that shit, man. Don't procrastinate. Run it, man. You know what I'm saying? Come in here and take care of your business. Because I came from that background. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the streets, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the streets. It's gang banging. It's doing drugs, breaking in houses, breaking in cars. Ended up with IUIC. But when I got in IUIC, I had realized, like, these ain't no real niggas. Like, this ain't what the Bible talking about. These brothers ain't teaching the Bible.
Right.
I found the UPK and I said, you know what, these brothers teaching the truth. And if you in a fake Israelite group and you see and you roll upon you scroll upon the UPK and you find out what we teaching is the truth, you ain't gotta feel no way. You gotta feel no type of way. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, what you win, it ain't what the Lord with. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave y'all with that.
Most High Christ, man. Once again, tell the people who you are, where you from.
Officer Thor Rouse in Nashville School in the ISUPK on the command of Your Honor.
All right, man. That's that.
Omaha different from New York are just incidental. The problem exists because white people think they're better than black people and they want to oppress us and they want us to allow ourselves to be oppressed.
This is the I agree with you perfectly. This is the basic problem.
Then what do you
that white people
think
they're better than others?
I can't solve the problem. You guys pull the strings that close schools. You guys draw the boundaries that keep our kids restricted to the ghetto. You guys write up the restrictive covenants that keep us out of houses. So it's up to you to talk to your brothers and your sisters and persuade them that they have a responsibility. We've assumed ours for over 400 years, and we're tired of this kind of stuff now. We're not going to suffer patiently anymore. No more turning the other cheek. No more blessing our enemies. No more praying for those who despitefully use us. We're going to show you that we've learned the lessons you've taught us. We've studied your history, and you did not take over this country by singing "We Shall Overcome." You did not gain control of the world like you have it now by dealing fairly with a man and keeping your word. You're treaty breakers, you're liars, you're thieves, you rape entire continents and races of people. Then you wonder why these very people don't have any confidence or trust in you. Your religion means nothing. Your law is a farce, and we see it every day. You demonstrated it in Alabama. And I can say you because you're part of the whole system. You profit from it. In fact, you make your living from it. You couldn't walk around and talk to people, stand up in your pulpit on Sunday and preach nice little songs and say, now we're going to give thanks to the Lord for he is good and old Jesus be among us. As far as we're concerned, your Jesus is contaminated, just like everything else you tried to force upon us is contaminated.
Well,
so you can have him. And here's what I'll say. I wish you would follow Jesus like we followed him. Because if you did that, then we'd be in charge tomorrow. I think the problem is so bad that we can have no understanding at all.
You think it's gotten to the point where there can never be that reconciliation? Then?
No. You talk about justice, and it means one thing to you, and we talk about it and means something else to us. And it'll always be that way. And I'd like you to know I have a terrible feeling against preachers because I think you guys are the ones who are largely responsible for the problem in the first place. and you can accept it or not any way you choose. And for you, this may be an excursion, you know, across the line.
What about the person that wants to listen? I genuinely feel that I want to listen.
Well, if you listen and try to do something, you get kicked out of your church. See, that's where your people are.
Well, we can make changes. So the change that have come have been drastic.
God bless you, little brother.
Yes, sir.
Come back and see us again sometime. And don't look back in anger. Thanks for taking it so well. He thought we were going to do in here like they do to us. If we went in one of their places, everybody would have jumped out of their chairs and got some ropes together and hung one of us. We couldn't even go in one of their places like this.
Yeah.
Right. Which is the bigger threat to American democracy and the Constitution? A Vietnamese mother suckling her child, or a white racist governor in Alabama who says, in so many words, to hell with the Constitution and Johnson and everything else? Which is the greater threat to democracy?
This is true. These people have a kind of self-deception. You know, they circulate these myths so long that they've begun to believe them. And once you believe them, as they say, if you define a situation as being real, it will be real in its consequences. And this is just what's happened. They've come to actually believe this. And any evidence to the contrary, he's the exception. But the fact is, all the people who do struggle hard enough to accumulate a down payment, they do want something better for themselves and for their kids, and they hope that their neighbors will be the same kind of people that they are.
The black man fights for the white man, not for himself. He tells you to bleed and you bleed. He say, go bleed in Korea for the white man, and you go bleed because you have to. He tells you to go to Vietnam or Lebanon or Laos, and we have to bleed. Then in Mississippi or Alabama or Omaha, Nebraska, where they're taking our rights and we know who the people are who are taking them, we don't have any blood then. We're radical.
In 1974, Patricia Hearst, the heiress to the media empire of the Hearst family, was kidnapped by the leftist armed group known as the SLA. 2 months later, Patricia adopted the name Tanya and joined the ranks of the SLA, participating in bank robberies. She declared herself a member of the SLA, armed herself, and even posed for photographs. After the FBI's armed confrontation with the SLA, Patricia was arrested following her year-and-a-half-long fugitive period. She faced charges of armed robbery and terrorism. Patricia shocked the United States with her statement that she was innocent because everything was an action carried out under the influence of SLA. Patricia's case became a prominent example of the phenomenon known as the Stockholm Syndrome, where hostages sympathize with or even join their captors due to brainwashing or survival instincts. In 1974, Patricia Hearst, the heiress to the media empire of the Hearst family, was kidnapped by the leftist armed group known as the SLA. 2 months later, Patricia adopted the name Tanya and joined the ranks of the SLA, participating in bank robberies. She declared herself a member of the SLA, armed herself, and even posed for photographs. After the FBI's armed confrontation with the SLA, Patricia was arrested following her year-and-a-half-long fugitive period. She faced charges of armed robbery and terrorism. Patricia shocked the United States with her statement that she was innocent because everything was an action carried out under the influence of SLA. Patricia's case became a prominent example of the phenomenon known as the Stockholm Syndrome, where hostages sympathize with or even join their captors due to brainwashing or survival instincts.
All right, we live on Facebook. On Christ. All right, here we go. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shemar Atham Shem Yahshua to the sisters. I'm preaching officer Paratazah out of NoCal, Yonkers, New York. And this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, ISUPK. Start off with 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Junior Honor. Since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. They are God's chosen people according to the Bible. Let's clap it up for the Most High. Once again, since 1969, ISUPK have been teaching so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, brotherhood and sisterhood according to the Bible. Let's clap it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm Baba Kishar. Can you read the title?
God's way is the only way for brotherhood and sisterhood.
God's way is the only way for brotherhood and sisterhood. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. It's a great time to have brotherhood and sisterhood. It's a great time to iron out all differences. You have, you know what I'm saying? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You see what's going on around the world. You see what's happening around the world. People don't want World War III to happen. People scared, Priest. Right. You know what I mean? People scared. I got relatives. Oh, turn off, you know what I mean? Turn off that radio. I know that make me depressed. You know why you're depressed? Because you're scared. You know why you're scared? Because you're by yourself. You don't want to be a daughter of Zion. You don't want to be a son of the Most High God. You want to be the reason why you're scared? Because you want to be a son of Donald Trump. You want to be a daughter of white Jesus doctrine. Everybody believe in white Jesus, but they don't want the black Jesus to come. You ever notice that? You already know, you know what I'm saying, the Christian church? You know what I'm saying? I believe in Jesus. Oh, I love Jesus this, I love Jesus that. But they don't want him to come back. Because they're scared, because they know, you know what I mean? They know something that they was taught was wrong. There's something there. They can't just get it. You see, even though they drunk off the wine, they don't really want them to come back because they have to, you know what I mean? Because, you know, the Christian church never talks about prophecy. They scared. They don't know nothing about prophecy. You know what I mean? They don't want to talk about prophecy. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, Jordan. Jordan, pull up the scripture where Christ said, bring them here and slay them in front of me. When Yahushua said that, bring them here and slay them in front of me. You hear me, Jordan? Jordan, you hear me? Bring up Yahushua, bring them here. When Yahushua said, bring them here and slay them in front of me. All right? And just hold that scripture when you got it. So Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, what are we going to do? God's way is the only way for brotherhood and sisterhood. I thought the drug dealer way was the only way for brotherhood and sisterhood, Priest. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know the drug dealer way teach you how to sell drugs to pregnant women. You know the drug dealer way would have men sleep with dogs. That's the drug dealer way. The drug dealer way will have you robbing people and unaliving people. You know, the Bloods and Crips way is have you robbing people and selling drugs and making your daughters whores. What bylaws do they? What bylaws are they keeping? They own? No more of this, Blacks, Hispanics. It's a great time. I can't believe that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is talking about, yo, you know what I'm saying? The black woman is this and the black woman is that. The black man is this, the black man is that. The Puerto Rican man is this, the Puerto Rican man is that. What is this? What is this? Who's getting lynched together? Black men and black women. What the hell kind of beef will we have with each other? Who, you know what I'm saying? Who's on them reservations together? Who's getting drunk? Who, you know what I'm saying? Who's on a reservation together when it's against the reservation law, you know what I'm saying, for their people to be drinking alcohol? And you know what I'm saying? And Donald Trump and Joe Biden and White Jesus Doctrine set up a liquor store 3 steps away from the borderline of the reservations. Who was there? The so-called Native American Indian men and women was there, getting drunk and unaliving themselves together. Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Mexico. When did this fight come about? Who taught, you know what I'm saying? Who taught the Hispanics, you know what I'm saying, about make their race greater? Don't bring nobody home dark. Who taught you that? Everybody know that. Huh? Did we forget about that? Huh? Did we forget about that? Who taught us that? Don't worry, because it was taught also in our community. You know what I mean? Oh, we got, you know what I'm saying? That's Pretty Tone. Pretty Tone's a light-skinned brother with the curls, with the good hair. That's Pretty Tone. He's still an African-American brother, but he got a little light skin on him. You know what I mean? He's not darker than the paper bag. You know, the paper bag tests go back to the 1800s. If you're lighter than this paper bag, you're gonna have a kind of good life. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We're not gonna punch you. We're just gonna slap you in the face. That's how the white man is. But if you're a dark-skinned man, we're gonna punch you. You see that? But nevertheless, you're gonna get hit. You know what I mean? Why are we still fighting amongst each other? Somebody told us that the Mexican is taking our jobs. Somebody said, you know what I mean? Somebody said these, you know what I mean? Somebody saying the black people is nothing but, you know what I'm saying, but violators of women. Who's teaching us this? Who's teaching us this? Don't you think it's time for God's ways? Because our ways didn't work. The March on Washington, what happened on that? What happened on that? The Million Man March, what happened on that? We still don't know who we are. We have another nation of people telling who we are. Now we fall, you know what I'm saying? Now we fall on to our own understanding. Now, you know what I mean? Now we believe in ourselves because we've been crushed so long. But you know what I'm saying? These scriptures in the Bible are going to teach us because this is our Constitution. This is our Constitution. This is our history book, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. This is our council book. Because everything that, you know what I'm saying, remember, this Bible was written about, you know what I'm saying, the 12 tribes of Israel, God's chosen people. The white man tried to teach us, like, nah, it was written for everybody. Huh? What? Remember, white Jesus doctrine had been lying to us. Remember, he's white. Only, you know what I'm saying? Only a disgusting bastard talking about, oh, you know what I'm saying? All man is created equal, but they have slaves in the back. This is a hypocrisy nation. Hypocrisy. Now we're getting jammed up. Now we don't know where to run. Now we don't know no count. You know what I'm saying? Now we don't have no counselors. Our counselor is white media. You know what I'm saying? Our counselor is Donald Trump. Our counselor is Hillary Clinton. Our counselor is Barack Obama. Our counsel, you know what I'm saying? Our counsel is America. That's our counsel. Young man Bruce, pull up that scripture that I want in Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 21.
Chapter 30, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
Read.
Where?
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel.
Oh man, blacks, Hispanics, and the American Indians. There's a lot of things that's going on in the community. There's a lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas. You know what I mean? It's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things that I'm sick and tired of looking at, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things going on at my household. I don't have enough money. I got this woman pregnant and I don't know what to do. Sister's pregnant right now. She don't know what to do. This brother, you know what I'm saying? This brother is suffering from depression and he don't know what to do. Now we start counseling ourselves. Now we start, you know what I'm saying? Our minds start racing. You know what I mean? Our minds start racing. Now our minds start setting up these scenarios, which, guess what? The scenario is not there. The scenario is not there. You know what I mean? And we don't focus on, you know what I'm saying? We don't, you know what I'm saying? We focus on the solution. All right. This is what we, you know what I mean? We're going to do. Bob, we start read out from the top.
Khan. Chapter 30, verse 21, the book of Ecclesiastes.
Mm-hmm.
Give not over thy mind to heaviness.
Give not thy mind over to heaviness. All the heaviness that's going on in our lives, man. You know what I'm saying? The heaviness is, damn, I can't pay my bill. I can't pay my phone bill. My money is funny. I am jammed up. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, you know what I'm saying? Not only I don't have no money, I'm sick. You know what I'm saying? I can't walk. My back hurts. Now our mind start racing. Now our mind is just start dwelling on it. Not start dwelling. And the little voices come into our heads. We all know those little voices. And don't you know? Don't it sound like us? Don't it sound like you when them little voices talk to us? But I'm gonna let you know. We start building the world, but the world is not there. We just start, you know what I mean? We just giving ourselves to the heaviness, giving ourselves to the problems. That's the heaviness. Read on.
God, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel.
Oh man. Now the thing is that we are addressing the heaviness. We literally addressing the heaviness. But we still afflicting ourselves in our own counsel. In our own counsel. And you know what the important word is there? Our own. Not going to your brother. Not going, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Not coming to the priest and the prophet of the Lord of the ISUPK. We're not doing that. We're not doing that, gangbangers. ISUPK will stop gangbanging. If ISUPK have authority here, you know what I'm saying? Have here in America, the police, you know what I'm saying? The police won't have to come to the black community at all. They just sitting on their goddamn hands. Because we would have brotherhood and sisterhood in the black community. There would be no such thing as Bloods and Crips in the black community. It won't be no such thing as Mexican cartel. It won't be no such thing as, you know what I'm saying, Mexican mafia. It won't be no such thing as Latin kings. It won't be none of that. Because everybody's following God's way. And God's way is brotherhood and sisterhood. And now we're not leaning on to our own understanding. Now we're not leaning on to the heaviness in our own counsel. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Bloods and Crips talking about how can we stop unaliving each other? Ain't no Pyru's talking about how can we stop selling drugs in our community? You know what I'm saying? No MS-13 is talking about how can I make my sister not a whore? You need God's laws for that. You need God's ways for that. We need God's ways because we are the 12 tribes of Israel. The Mexican is God's chosen people. The Venezuelans is God's chosen people. Don't you think it's time? And you see right now it's going on in California. You don't think it's going to stop moving to the other states that's from the border? And guess what? You know who's bloodlust? Donald Trump is bloodlust. America is bloodlust. You saw Ernie Chambers. He was talking a bit back then, back in the late 60s, early 70s. They sent us to Korea, priests. Right. They sent us to Vietnam. Why are we going to Vietnam? We never had no fight. When the last time that you had a fight with somebody from Vietnam? Vietnamese. When the last time you fought with a Vietnamese? Huh? When the last time you tell a Vietnamese, hey, I'm gonna start bombing you? Yo, I wonder, hold up, was Snoop Doggy Dogg at the table with Donald Trump when he decided to bomb Iran? Was Oprah Winfrey at the table with Donald Trump when he decided to bomb Iran? Was Denzel Washington at the table? Was these brothers with these lost brothers that's talking about, you know what I'm saying, we have to get these illegals out of America? Was they at the table when Donald Trump decided to bomb Iran? What the hell is the black vote? I'm painting you a picture over here. I'm painting the picture. Support black. Don't that sound like a separation, Breeze? Right. That sound like a separation, right? Sound like a separation there. If you have to say I have to support black, who is the black? Because it got to, you know what I'm saying? Because it got to be somebody who's not the black. Yo, I'm going to get the black vote. Hold up. What do that mean? Was the black vote at the table when Donald Trump decided, when Donald Trump and White Jesus Doctrine decided to drop bombs on Iran? Anybody? Anybody? Go ahead, young man Bruce.
To answer your question, I would say no, sir.
No, sir. La, right? La. So hold on. Are we a different nation from Donald Trump? Is Donald Trump the black vote? Is Hillary Clinton the black vote? Is Barack Obama the black vote? I had to throw that in there too, because he's not our kind. You know what I'm saying? He have a white mother, Donald Trump people, and he have an African father. He have an African father. He's not one of us. He's not like us. He's someone else. All that stuff with Donald Trump, you see how Donald Trump, you see the policies that he putting down. You try to say Barack Obama could not put out the policies for black people? Huh? Anybody? You try to say Kamala Harris could not pull out the policies in Joe Biden, I'm gonna get you, and Joe Biden could not push their weight the way Donald Trump is pushing his weight. Donald Trump is making wars. Donald Trump said, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to pick up these people. I'm going to put these people down. I'm only going to go for these people. I'm not going to go for these people.
Right.
Don't you think Barack Obama could have did the same thing? Or he's the people of all people. You know that's what he said, right? When the last time Donald Trump said, I'm the president of all people? Nah, he knew who was his people. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now we went to the heaviness. You know what I mean? Now we conflict that stuff in our own council. No more. No more of that. Baba Bashar, read that from the top.
Khan. Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel.
Afflicting that, you know what I mean? Now we listening to our own counsel. Now we doing what, you know what I mean? Now we doing what we think that is right. Meanwhile, we don't know what is right. That's the best thing about ISUPK. We have brothers in here. We have the men above, you know what I mean? We have brothers in here, you know, we'll see it from a different aspect, the way that you're seeing it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Then you're like, oh, I did not see it. Then your brother speak to you like, I did not see it that way. I didn't see it that way. Well, I was tearing myself up. Yo, I appreciate that. And that's what brotherhood is, because it was a man of the Lord talking to you. It was the brother. It was, you know what I mean? It was God's way right there. God put you in a position, you know what I'm saying? Put us in a position so we could get that righteous counsel. And that, you know what I mean? Even it's big or it's small. Now we see it. Yeah, you know what? What we doing now? You drop that Baba Kashar and just go to now go to Ephesians chapter, you know what I'm saying? Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22. Now this is what happens. You know what I'm saying? Now this going to happen once we understand to not afflict ourselves, you know what I'm saying, in our own counsel.
Read it.
Yeah, whoever have it, read it, Baba Shaw.
Book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 22. That ye put off concerning the former conversation.
Say that again.
That ye put off concerning the former conversation.
If we afflicting our, you know what I'm saying, the formal conversation, that we put off performing the formal conversation. Now we think differently. Now we in the position, you know what I'm saying? Now we're around brothers and sisters that put off that formal conversation. We don't have that formal conversations anymore. And if we do have that formal conversation, we're around brothers and sisters. We're dressed that, you know what I mean? We're dressed, you know what I mean, to remind us, hey, stop thinking that way. That was the old you. You know what I mean? That was the old you. But we do creep in. Just because you're in the truth, that don't mean that it's all juices and berries. That don't mean that you stop fighting. Here at ISUPK, we teach men and women how to fight. We didn't say you ain't gonna stop fighting. You know what I mean? We're just gonna teach you how to be a better fighter. And the more you practice to fight, guess what happens? The more better you get. The more, you know what I'm saying? Now you're slipping and bobbing. You know what I'm saying? Now you see the, you know what I'm saying? Now you're stepping back, you know what I'm saying? Now you're stepping back off, you know what I'm saying, off the hook, and boom, you hit them with your own hook. Now you hit the angle. And you know what I mean? And that's when you're by yourself. But here in ISUPK, that's why we said brotherhood is a weapon, because the unclean spirit don't get a fair one in here. We stop our demons together. That's what we do. We stop them out together. Can I war with you, brother? Can I please war with you? You know what I'm saying? Read it from the top.
Book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 22. That ye put off concerning the former conversation.
Oh man, we done put off the formal conversation, baby. We war together. We don't war by ourselves no more. We war together, man. Let's do it. Read on.
The old man.
Say that again.
The old man.
Yo, remember when we was the old man priest? We used to, you know what I mean? We used to be, you know what I'm saying? We used to be in a dark room fighting our own demons. We never picked up the phone. We don't talk to anybody. Remember that time when we used to do that? Remember that time I used to hold information and not, you know what I mean, and not talk, you know what I mean, and not talk to you, I just hold it in. Let me take care of this myself. Let me take care of this myself. But right here, we in the spirit of the Lord. Like, yo, let me talk to my brother. You know what I mean? Let me talk to my brother about this. You know what I mean? Let me talk to my brother. Let me pick up the phone and talk to my brother about this situation. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm seeing it differently. Because there's no, you know what I mean? That was the old man don't pick up the phone. The old man felt uncomfortable going to people about, you know what I'm saying, about our situations. Now we're in the spirit of the Lord. Now we're doing it God's way. God put us in a position so we could solve that problem. That's what happened. We don't.
Which is corrupt.
Say that again.
Which is corrupt.
Which is corrupt. Because that's all it takes. That's all it takes. That little, you know what I'm saying? That little going to the heaviness, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like past things. Past things. No, what are we doing now? Yeah, I was that guy before. Yes, I did that. But I'm here to fix it. I'm here to fix it now. All right, yeah. Yo, you know what? I'm going to start doing this now. I'm going to make sure I start doing this now. Oh, you know what I mean? I'm taking off that old conversation, that old man. I'm a new man now. Now I know what's going on. Because communication is happening now. Now I know how to not, you know what I'm saying? Now I know not to rob a person who's coming down my neighborhood that's not from my neighborhood, but look like me. That was, you know what I mean? That's that formal conversation right there. Read on.
According to the deceitful lust.
Say that again.
According to the deceitful lust.
That deceitful lust on the left-hand side. Because that's all it takes. That one, you know what I mean? That you know what I mean? That one regret. You know what I mean? And that one regret, man, if we dwell on that one regret, it's just gonna spiral out. That one regret always spirals out, especially when you're not, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're not in ISUPK. ISUPK is a safe place, so nothing spirals out. Nothing spirals out. Because we are, you know, because the first thing that we do, that we're the oracle of God. Is God's ways. How can we not make no schisms? How can we solve the problem? How can we keep the integrity of the brotherhood and the sisterhood in the Most High in Christ? The honor. The honor. That's what we have to do. We have to always remind ourselves we took off the old conversation, the old man, that deceitful lust. We gotta always remind, just because we're in the truth, that don't mean, you know what I mean? That don't mean that, you know what I mean, that you're not gonna forget. We will. Because what they said, to endure to the end, we got to endure to the end, priest.
Right.
Remember, you know what I'm saying? Even in our school, even generals fell out the truth. Captains fell out the truth. 5,000s fell out the truth. 500s fell out the truth. 1,000s, 500s, 50s, troopers, young men fell out the truth. There, priest.
High priest, Mashal.
High priest, Mashal fell out the truth. So what we think we special? Guess who else fell out? Guess who else fell out the truth? Peter. Peter fell out the truth. Denied Christ. And he was rolling with him. And guess who else fell out the truth? Judah. He fell out the truth too. He set Christ up. Do you see what I'm getting at? Look, and guess what? And you want to see something in reverse? You want to see something in reverse? Our brother Paul, he wasn't in the truth. He was persecuting the brothers and sisters who was in the truth. He was holding the coat for the people who was unaliving the brothers and sisters who was in the truth. And he came into the truth. Look at that. That's in reverse. You see that, Bruce?
Right.
That's in the reverse. Who was us? And guess who was leaning on? And guess who was leaning on? Guess who was going to the heaviness during this time? Guess what? Paul's in the truth. But if you read a book of, can you please take away this thorn out of my side? Remember that? Right. You know, Bob Gishar, if you could find it, you know, it's not being pushed, but if you could find it, you know what I'm saying? When Paul talking about that thorn in his side. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Even though Paul was in the truth, the heaviness of his past events was always creeping upon him. Was always creeping upon him. But Jordan, no, I need you to stay there. You don't have to go read on. Just always hold your point with the scripture that I pull. Always hold that scripture, Jordan, all right? Always hold the scripture. That's what you get jammed up. That's what you're looking for the scripture now. 4:22. Ephesians 4:22. So back, go ahead. Go ahead, read from the top here.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22. That ye put off concerning the former conversation.
So that, you know, remember who wrote this letter. Paul is the one who wrote this letter right here to his brothers and sisters. Was in Ephesians. Read on.
The old man.
The what?
The old man.
Take off the old man. Read on.
Which is corrupt, according to the deceitful lust.
According to that deceitful lust. That old man was getting, you know what I'm saying, was always, you know, that old man, how can I put this? That conversation that the old man had. You know what I mean? He was corrupting himself. The old man was always corrupting himself. So wherever his lust wanted, it was always deceitful. That's the stuff that we have to put off. Read on.
Verse 23. And be renewed.
And be what?
And be renewed.
Once we take off that old man, we be what?
Renewed.
Now we're being renewed. Now we're being renewed. What's that old man? Once we recognize that old man in the deceitful lust. Because remember, the lust is something that you like. But when we, you know what I'm saying, when we start putting that, you know what I'm saying, when we start counseling ourselves, you know what look right? suicide would look right. You know what I'm saying? Suicide would look right in that own counsel, in that heaviness. Suicide. You know what would look right? Doing drugs. Doing drugs is looking right. I'm lusting over drugs now. It will look right in our counsel. But we're going to read that from the top, Jordan.
And be renewed.
And be renewed. Read on.
In the spirit of your mind.
And be renewed in the spirit of your mind. I always pull this scripture so we could take the spookiness off of spirit. Your spirit changed now. Our spirit changed now. I'm going to get to you. Our spirit changed now. Now we walking in the spirit of the Most High in Christ. Now we walking in the spirit because we know who we are. We know who our enemy is. We starting to understand about God's ways, God's laws, how to look at one another, how to talk to one another. We growing up. We're being taught by righteous men. We understand that we cannot fight by ourselves. We can't do this by ourselves. We start recognizing, you know what I mean? We start recognizing the lies that our oppressors have been teaching us. We start recognizing, you know what I'm saying? We start recognizing that we have to give more love to our people. That's what we have to start doing. That's that new spirit, the uncompromising spirit. That's what we have to start doing. Shalom. The uncompromising spirit. Fix this right here. And I mean an uncompromising spirit is like, check it out, I don't eat shrimp, crab, and lobster or pork. You know, brothers and sisters get anxiety when they tell their family that. Anxiety. You believe that? Why we getting anxiety that we follow the Most High God and when we tell our family the truth? When they ask for something to eat, yo, can you cook me something real quick? Like, yeah. What you want? I want bacon and eggs. Now you got a choice. You see what I'm saying? Now you got Now you got a situation. Even though the situation sounds simple, but it's not. Because your mother is old. And you don't got no goddamn, and the only thing that's in her refrigerator is pork, bacon. Now, what you going to do? How you going to solve that situation now? Your mom's hungry. What you going to say? Huh? And that's a simple thing. That's a simple thing. What you going to say? You just found this information out. You just found this information out 2 days ago. You just found out that you cannot eat swine, pork, shrimp, and crab, and lobster, and duck. Just found it, your priest. You just found that out 2 days ago. What you gonna do, huh? Yo, Bruce, can you heat me up some of that leftover duck? What you gonna do? Yo, make sure make some shrimp and grits too. Let me get some of those shrimp and grits. It's on the second shelf in the refrigerator. You just found out 2 days ago from the priest. What you gonna do now? What you gonna tell your mother? What you gonna tell your little niece? It's time for breakfast. What you gonna tell your little niece? But
you gotta make a choice to just stand on your 2 feet. Say, hey, I'm not gonna eat pork, shrimp, crab, tilapia.
Yeah, but your niece is hungry. Your little niece, you cooking for your little brother.
I get turkey bacon, make some bread, eggs.
Ain't no turkey bacon.
You go to the store, you go buy it.
You know what? Yeah. It sounds good when you're amongst us. It's always sound good when you're amongst us. But when you're right there in that situation, it always sound good. It always sound good.
Eat some crackers.
Huh?
Tell them you eat some crackers.
You saw the situation. You got, you know what I'm saying? You got sisters who's married, you know what I'm saying, who's married to brothers. Like, oh, yo, baby, you know what I'm saying? Go let's eat some pizza tonight. She's like, yo, word, no doubt. Yo, she said, what you want on the pizza? Yo, throw some pepperonis on there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, put some pepperoni. Let me get a pepperoni slice. What is that sister gonna do? Huh? With her husband. She just found out that she could not eat pork 2 days ago. See the situation there? She just found out 2 days ago. Who you gonna call? You can't call because you're in the situation. What you mean that you don't eat pork? We ate pizza 2 days ago. We ate a pepperoni slice 2 days ago. What you talking about? Now the conversation is happening. Now that conversation is going on now. Now that conversation, and this is in real time. This is in real time. What you mean? What you mean? We ate pepperoni slice a couple days ago. What you mean you don't eat pork no more? What you talking about? Where all this is coming from? Right?
That's 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I didn't know about the truth. I didn't know about, I could eat pork. It was fine. Now it's a different day.
Yeah.
That day in the past.
Yeah, day in the past. But you think you're going to stop that conversation right there? No. You're going to be on that conversation all day for the next 3, 4, matter of fact, 2 years. Every time you walk in the house, you're going to be with that conversation. Oh, yeah. And they're going to ask you 2 weeks from now, after when you said that, we're going to get a pepperoni slice. We're going to have the conversation again. It sounds good now. It always sounds good. Are you with the ISUPK? You know what I'm saying? Are you really for God? Huh? Are you really standing with God? Are we really truly doing God's ways? You know what I mean? That brother been talking to me slick. That brother disrespect me. That brother spit, you know what I mean? That brother spit on me. That brother did this to me. That brother play, you know what I'm saying, play his loud music all day, every day, and I, you know what I'm saying, and I cannot go to sleep. And every time when I ask him politely, he still plays the music. I just found out 2 days ago I cannot fight my brother. 2 days ago. I just found out about Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17 and 18. I just found that out. I just found out that I was an Israelite. And God's chosen people is not allowed to oppress each other. I just learned 2 days ago I could not sell drugs. 2 days ago I was selling drugs. Now I cannot sell drugs. My man's in them outside waiting for me to come outside. What you gonna say to your man's in them, huh? What you gonna give it? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get that. You're gonna get that money back? Huh? You gonna get the money back? That's how you was making your monies. That's how you was making your monies. You was selling weed. You the weed man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got you. You the weed man. That's the spirit. Read that scripture again.
And be Ephesians 4:23, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
Be renewed in the spirit of the mind. Now, this is when the fight happens. This is real-time fight. Are you truly going to be renewed in the spirit of your mind? Are you going to they did take off that old man? That's when it counts. It always counts when we in the dark. The truth only counts when it's being challenged and when you're in the dark by yourself. That's when it happens. It's all good here. We feel good here. Sanctuary, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? God's way is the only way for brotherhood and sisterhood. That's why we always have to be in these scriptures. Baba Shaw, drop that. Let's go, boom, boom. Let's go to, where did I see it? Oh, let's go to, let me see here, Slovakia. Oh, here we go. Let's go to Mark chapter 3, verse 27. Let's go to Mark chapter 3, verse 27. And this is let you know that our brothers and sisters, we always have to, you know what I mean? We have to be strong.
Book of Mark.
Not yet. We gotta be strong. We gotta be strong in this. We definitely have to be strong because there's gonna be a lot of challenges. Right now, you know what I'm saying? Right now, as we walk up and down the street, we have to remember God's ways, not our ways. Not the way that we think, not in our situation, whatever. We representing the Most High. We is the example for the community. We're the example for the community. We the people, you know what I'm saying? If anything happened in the community, we're the people they supposed to come to for anything. We have to be the example. We have to remember it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not for us. It's for the Lord. It's for his ways because his ways fix everything. God's ways fix everything in the Black and Hispanic and the American Indian community. Baba Shaw, read that.
The book of Mark, chapter 3 and verse 27. No man entered into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house.
So, read that from the top.
The book of Mark, chapter 3 and verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house.
No man can enter into a strong man's house. Blacks, Hispanics, and the American Indians. How did Donald Trump, white Jesus, into our house? How did he into our house? You know what I mean? We bow down every day to white Jesus doctrine. God loves everybody. Right after he kicked our teeth in, now God's love everybody. This is what Donald Trump, this is what white Jesus taught us. Our house, you know what I'm saying? Our house is not strong. If our house was strong, there won't be no such things as Bloods and Crips. If our house strong, it won't be no Mexican mafia or Mexican cartel. The cartel will have a different meaning. You understand? Because there'd be a bunch of strong men who take care of their family, who take care of their people, and know who they are. The Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? Indigenous descent is God's chosen people. You know what I mean? And nobody, you know what I mean? And nobody can come in on the Blacks, Hispanics, and the American Indian community and divide us. Because we are strong. We following God's ways. Because his ways is the only way for brotherhood and sisterhood. But if we don't follow God's way, cartel means that you unaliving your own people and selling drugs to your own people. Because somebody enter, you know what I mean? Somebody enter a weak man's house. You know what I mean? Somebody enter a weak man's house. You notice that they talking about the border this, they keeping illegals from coming in, but why the drugs is not, you know, being stopped if the illegals is being stopped? How come the drugs is still coming into the community? How come the drugs is still coming over? Why nobody talks about that? They're talking about illegals. They're talking, you know what I mean? They're talking about the Mexicans and the Haitians and the Guatemalans and the Ecuadorians coming over here illegally. And they stopping that and they putting all that money on the border. But you notice that the drugs is always making in. How come the cartel drugs always making in? How come Donald Trump is not talking about why is I want to stop the drugs from coming in? Why he don't say that? On 9/11, they had New York on smash, which lockdown, right? Lockdown. You can't come in or out. And it stopped the drugs from coming in. Everybody was still getting high. Everybody was talking. Matter of fact, people was getting high even more. It was a big boom. A big drug boom. This is a hypocrisy nation right here. And somebody done enter, we was strong. You know what I mean? We can only be strong if we follow God's ways. It says, no man, oh yeah, there you go. No man can enter into a strong man's house. Read on.
3 and 20, Mark chapter 3 and verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods.
And do what?
And spoil his goods.
What do spoil mean? Anyone? What do spoil mean? Jordan?
Rob, plunder,
huh?
Rob, steal.
Rob, steal. What about, and put it in the sake of, if they into that strong man's house, what you got? Go ahead.
Say, destroy his goods.
Hmm? Destroy, yeah, destroy is good. Think about in the way of, yes, and y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all on point about that. Look at say, no man get into a strong man's house and spoil his good. Look at spoil as milk. Go ahead, please.
Waste.
Waste. There we go. That's what I'm talking. Waste. It's waste. It's waste right there. It's over his expiration date. And what happened once you get over the expiration date? Can you still drink that milk? Can you still eat that bread? Can you still eat that? Can you still eat those canned beans? It's wasted. And that's what, you know what I mean? And that's why if we don't follow Most High, if we don't follow the Most High God ways, we would be wasted. Read on.
Except.
And what?
First.
Say that again. Except. Read on.
He will first bind the strong man.
Oh man. Except he, Donald Trump, white Jesus doctrine. You know what I'm saying? The hypocrisy of America. God loves everybody. The Christian church, the Catholic church, the Muslim mosque. That's the he right there. You know what I'm saying? Vain philosophy. The LGBTQ community. Look. That's the LGBT community. The he. Right? The LGBT community said that your son can become your mom's now. Right? That's what they said. What moral compass come out the LGBTQ community parade? What moral compass that they have? They got on the old man. Remember that old man is what? That deceitful lust. Their lust is deceitful, but they think it's right. What morality? What brotherhood? What sisterhood come out of there? What shame coming out of that? What shame coming out of that? Remember, there's no more shame in America. The shame is when you tell somebody, when you tell a man, don't dress like a woman, they would shame you for that. When you tell a woman, don't dress like a man, they would shame you for that. That's the he. Except he will first bind the strong man. Who's the strong man? ISUPK is the strong man. ISUPK is the strong man. Priest and Commander, you know what I'm saying? Priest and Commander General Yohana is a strong man. He didn't drop the truth. He didn't drop the truth. You can't come into the school and try to bind up the strong man. This is what happened. It says right here, no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his good, except he will first bind the strong man. Read on.
And then he will spoil his house.
Oh man. Then his house will be wasted away.
So what you bringing out is so heavy, you understand? Because brothers and sisters got to understand when it says no man can enter into a strong man's house. A strong man. You know what I'm saying? This is not talking about physical strength.
That's right.
You understand? This is talking about your mental strength. You understand? No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, waste his goods, destroy his family, destroy what he created, his family, his children, and his wife. Except he will first bind a strong man. And how are we bind? We bind through Christianity. We bind through Islam, through the false philosophies of what the oppressor taught us. You can't tell me that Dwayne Wade, the basketball player, is not a strong man. You understand? He works out every day. He lifts weights, does laps. He's an extremely strong man. Look at his son. You understand what I'm saying? His son turned his name to Zion. I believe that his son got a sex change, if I'm not mistaken. You understand? That's a prime example on how you bind a strong man through the philosophies of this world. The word is saying, oh, your son could become a girl. Your boy, your daughter can become a boy. Okay, I accept it. I love him for who he is. You understand? Instead of putting him in check, you know what I'm saying? Instead of casting out that demon, so what this scripture is bringing up, what Priest Officer Barata is bringing up is so heavy. You understand? What binds us? You understand what I'm saying? The philosophies of the oppressive drugs. You understand? Homosexuality, eating pork, crab, lobster, and shrimp. Not keeping the Lord statutes and commandments of the Lord is what binds the strong man. Look at Will Smith. You understand? You can't tell me that Will Smith is not physically strong because he is.
That's right.
You understand? But look at it. He allows his wife to have sex with other men. He allows his son and his daughter are both part of the LGBTQ community. You understand? So that's how you destroy a strong man. Stop talking about physical strength. You know, everybody's had strength for crying out loud. You understand what I'm saying? It's talking about your mental capacity, your morals, your morality. It's a lot.
Oh, give it up for that prince. He's saying it's so hard body one West. You know what I'm saying? When he's saying, you say, and that's it, your honor,
right,
your integrity.
Right.
Where you gonna learn it from? Where you gonna learn integrity? You know what I'm saying? Where you gonna learn that from? Donald Trump?
Right.
Oh, you gonna learn that integrity from your block?
Right.
Block, you know what I'm saying? Our block don't have no integrity. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna learn that integrity, Cubans for Trump. You're gonna learn that integrity that the Northerners gonna have beef with the Southerners. North Mexico got beef with South Mexico. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna learn, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna learn integrity. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna learn integrity in Chicago, a black, you know what I'm saying? A black former inmate talking about inmates for Trump and get rid of these immigrants. With integrity. Go ahead, Freaks.
Speaking on integrity, you understand? This scripture right here is a masculine scripture.
That's right.
This scripture is all about masculinity. You understand? We in our femininity are black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men. Integrity. How many of us saw pictures, videos of a man and his wife? You know what I'm saying? They got a daughter. You know what I'm saying? He celebrates the daughter's birthday, but not only that, he dresses up in a tutu.
Oh.
We all seen that. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, I'm buying it with my daughter. Hell no. I'm not putting on a goddamn ballerina tutu. You understand? And taking pictures of my daughter just so I can have a bond with my daughter. What is that telling the daughter? You understand? What is that telling the wife, man? This is all about integrity. This is all about masculinity, man. You know what I'm saying? Far too often, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men, we fall into that trap. You understand? Your woman curse you out because what? You don't celebrate the birthday. Your woman curse you out, call you a no good dad. Why? Because you don't put up a Christmas tree or presents. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't want to partake of Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? This is what binds the strong man. You understand? The ideologies and the pagan holidays and the false worship of Christianity that the oppressor forced upon us.
No. When you dropping it so heavy because it's right. And he's a horrible father.
Right.
Horrible. Dwayne Wade is a horrible father.
Right.
Horrible father. You know what I mean? And this is what happened. But ready for this? He is praised for that. Unless somebody go in and bind up that man and his, guess what? His sport, now his daughter become waste. His daughter become waste. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now, guess what's gonna happen? Guess what's gonna happen? One, you know what I'm saying? One of us date that daughter. We gotta brainwash her first. We got, you know what I'm saying? We gotta give her therapy. Because she is destroyed. She think it's okay for a man to walk. It's okay. The same way that, you know what I'm saying? The same way that it became okay, that siblings could walk around each other, you know what I'm saying, half naked. Anybody? Yeah, Bruce, you want to say something?
What you say, brother? You're bringing it out so heavy. And Wayne Wade, his name came up. His first life was in the prophet spirit.
Right.
She tried to stop this whole thing.
Right.
early on.
Right.
And they just smothered her with society, the wicked society that we're in. Supports this. Esau's kingdom. They came down on her and made her look like she was mentally unbalanced.
Right.
But she was actually in the proper spirit.
Mhm. Yeah, they shamed her.
Right.
Look, you see what I'm saying? They shamed her. Now that became shame. If you speak up righteous, you know what I'm saying? Righteous, that's shame. But you know what they call when you speak that up? Don't judge me. I ain't judging you. I'm just telling you that's disgusting. That's disgusting. That's what I'm saying. I don't, you know what I mean? That is, you know what I mean? There's no prosperity out of that. Nothing. Nothing. And this is what happened. But for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, don't you think it's time for us to be that strong man again?
Right.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, who are God's chosen people. Don't you think it's time for, you know what I'm saying, for nobody to enter our house anymore?
Right.
It's about that time, right?
That's right.
I think it's about that time. I think it's about the time to learn God from godly men. I think it's about that time. It's about that time because I'm gonna let you know we teach each other how to be strong.
That's right.
How, you know what I mean? How nobody could come in your house. Because you know why? If you're in my house, we're going to follow the Lord. That's it. In my house, there won't be no shrimp, crab, and lobster.
Right.
You gotta realize you are the temple of the Most High God. We are the temple of the Most High God. Wherever we stand, especially in ISUPK, the priest and the prophet of the Lord, we are the strong men. Anywhere we go. That's the reason why, when you know what I'm saying, when people fall out the truth, they keep the name. You believe that, priest?
Right.
They
Right.
keep the name that we
Right.
give them. Because they know where the truth is. They know where the truth is. How you gonna be in another Israelite group with the same name that we gave them?
That's right.
This is what happened. ISUPK, you know what I mean? ISUPK will not, you know what I'm saying, will not have nobody come into the strong man's house. Because we remember the law, statutes, and commandments. Baba Gashar drop that. Matter of fact, go to I just had it. Oh, here we go, y'all. Go to Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. I'm going to let you know. God's ways is the only way for brotherhood and sisterhood. God's ways is the only way for brotherhood and sisterhood. Let me say it again. God's ways is the only way from brotherhood and sisterhood. And the men of God are going to teach us this. We're going to teach you this. That's why everybody's talking about now, you know what I mean? You know this, you know what I mean? These Black Hebrew Israelites, you know that term is blowing up. You know what term is blowing up too? The Most High God. Even Christians never said the Most High. They never spoke like that. We talked about the Most High, but we say the Most High. You know what I'm saying? We're changing the language now. We're changing that language. Matter of fact, young man Bruce, read that scripture.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of the Lord.
Say that again.
The fear of the Lord.
God's ways is the only way for brotherhood and sisterhood. No man get into a strong man's house unless they bind up that strong man. Right. Read that from the top. No fear. The fear.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of the Lord
is
the beginning of knowledge.
Say that again.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Where you going to learn knowledge from? It's only one knowledge. Right. That's the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord, which means that there's something greater than me. There's something powerful than me. And we know this because a man that feared God taught me this. Right. He taught me the knowledge because he feared the most high God. He feared this. You know what I'm saying? He realized God's way was the only way for brotherhood and sisterhood. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now we know the knowledge because we fear God. Read on.
God. But fools.
But say that again.
But
fools. Read on.
God. Despise wisdom and instruction.
But fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Right.
You can't tell me nothing. That book can't tell me nothing. That's what they said. That book, what is that? That's the white man's book. You know that's what they say. Yo, you know what? I used to say that. I used to, because I was a black, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never went into the Bible. And I knew the Bible was right. And check it out. I'm gonna let you know. Check this out right here. I don't think I told you this, please. I didn't believe in the Bible. I never did. Never believe in the Bible. Never. I said this. I thought the Bible was fake, except for the Lord Statutes and Commandments. I said, we take all those characters out and just follow the instructions for the Bible. Because I ain't believe in none of the characters. You know what I mean? But I'm like, that law, because I know structure, the instructions in the Bible, I didn't believe it, but I believe in those instructions. I knew that could bring in the Blacks, Hispanics, and American Indian community together. I knew that. But I was way off because I didn't fear the Lord. I didn't fear the Lord because that's the most important, to fear the Lord. Because guess what happens? We start, you know what I mean? We start putting ourselves in our own counsel if we don't fear the Lord. You know what I mean? You got people like Mike Todd in that Christian church, that man who spit in his hand and wiped that spit all over his brother's face. He don't fear the Lord. He don't fear the Lord. You know what I mean? In the Catholic Church, that, you know what I'm saying, that been touching little boys and girls since centuries they've been doing this. Centuries they've been doing this. What are you going to do? What are we going to do, brothers and sisters? You want to do this all day? You want to do this all day? For Baba Bashar, drop that. Let me go to Isaiah chapter 30. Let's go to 30 and 1. But we're probably going to drop down to 9. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Let me see. I just want to see this first because I ain't read this.
Want me to read it?
Yeah, read it when you're at.
Chapter 30, verse 1. Mm-hmm. Woe to the rebellious children.
Did you hear right here in Proverbs 1 and 7? Fear the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But fools despite instructions. Read that from the top.
Look at Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children.
Woe to the rebellious children, which means destruction. Destruction to those rebellious children. This is our brother Isaiah right here, a prophet of the Lord who feared the Most High God. Who is more rebellious than blacks, Hispanics, and Americans? Remember, this is the book of only talking about the Israelites. When we was on top, when we was on the bottom. When we listened to the Lord, when we did not listen to the Lord. When we went into captivity, when we came out of captivity. When, you know what I'm saying? When the prophet said, hey, stop doing all this craziness. Stop selling all these drugs. Stop, you know what I'm saying? Stop, you know what I'm saying? Stop taking on the traits of these other nations. Stop following Joe Biden. Stop following Pharaoh. Stop voting for these other nations of people. Stop being rebellious. Read on.
Saith the Lord that take counsel.
That do what?
That take counsel.
Oh man, destruction to the rebellious children. Saith the most, you know what I'm saying? Saith the Most High. That take counsel. Read on.
But not of me.
Say that again.
But not of me.
Oh man, you want to take counsel of white Jesus doctrine, huh? You want to take counsel of Donald Trump in America, huh? You want to follow their ways, huh? You know what I'm saying? You want to say Mexicans for Donald Trump, huh? You want to say African Americans for Donald Trump, huh? That's what you want to do. You want to say I'm no black in DR. Oh man. You want to talk about these immigrants is taking all the jobs, huh? We taking counsel for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? That take counsel, but not of me. Not the Most High counsel, not the Most High ways, not God's ways. Read on.
And that cover with a covering.
Say that again.
And that cover with a covering.
Oh man, they threw the red, white, and blue flag on their back, priest. Yo, remember on 9/11 when all those flags was out? Remember that?
Right.
Remember that? Oh my God. We took cover. You know what I'm saying? Talking about Puff Daddy, vote or die. What type of counsel did he have? What type of counsel that Puff Daddy had? Vote or die. Anybody? He had an American counsel. That's why he got caught up and jammed up like that, because he wanted to be an American. Because remember, in America, there's no morals. There's no shame in America. The only shame if you speak against America. In America, disgusting ways. And us, we took on the counsel of America. It says it right here. It says, but not only, and that cover with a covering, read on.
But not of my spirit.
Not a what?
My spirit.
Say that again.
My spirit.
God's spirit. Not of God's spirit. We are rebellious. We took on somebody else's spirit. Somebody else's ways. We started dressing like them. You know, and they call us, you notice they don't got no name for the curly fries on the side. The so-called, you know what I mean? The Jewish man. The little curls on the side. Don't say nothing about those little curls. They don't say nothing about that top hat. And they always look like they sweating. You ever notice that? They always look like they sweat. but they call us Power Rangers.
Right.
Just remember, Power Rangers is heroes that saved the day every week. That saved the earth every week. And will kick your ass. And guess what? And guess what? You know what they were having Power Rangers? You know what they were having at the end? The moral of the story is they will put morality in it at the end. You never noticed that? Because it would be like something that wanted somebody's going through something. They would teach you how to solve the problem at the end of the show. We all got damn Power Rangers. We saved the world. We are heroes, and we will give you a moral base to solve your problems. Believe that? We will be that. You know what I'm saying? Read on. Say that again. Oh man, we took off the Most High God. We don't want to listen to the Most High God counsel. We don't want to do that. Now we added sin to sin. That's what we're doing. You see that? Cubans for Trump. And the people who say Cubans for Trump, Donald Trump deported him. You know what? The brothers, inmates for Donald Trump. Inmates for Donald Trump. Meanwhile, they're shipping you out the country because you are inmate. You know, in the American Constitution means if you was convicted of a crime, you become a slave again. Do you know that? Anybody? You're a slave. You're a slave if you get convicted of a crime. We can do anything to you. You don't got no law, you know what I mean? You know that? That's the reason why you're working for 2 cents an hour, you know what I'm saying? And you're a master electrician. That's why you're working for half a cent an hour and you're a master carpenter. You're a goddamn master carpenter. You're a mechanic. You're a mechanic. And you're working for 2 cents an hour. You're a blacksmith, a master blacksmith. You've been doing that for the past 10 years. 2 cents an hour. You know what I'm saying? Mercury, go ahead.
So you're dropping so heavy. Esau wrote that into his constitution.
Yeah.
Can't word exactly, but that's what you said.
Mm-hmm.
You're incarcerated, all the slavery laws apply.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Unless you was convicted of a crime. That's what happened. Read on.
Verse 2. That wall to go down into Egypt.
Say that again.
That wall to go down into Egypt.
We're gonna ask our slave master for counsel. We're gonna go to our slave master and he's gonna teach us how to be moral. We're gonna go to white Jesus doctrine and he's gonna teach me how to read the Bible. What happened in Egypt? Right, the Israelites was in Egypt, and when we was in Egypt, the Egyptians put us in bondage. So we're gonna walk back into bondage, huh? And that's what we did. We walked back into bondage based on the history of this country. What are we doing what this country wants us to do? Yeah, we underneath the boot hill, but we don't have to celebrate we don't have to do what they doing. We don't have to do what they're doing. Why are we eating the things that they eating? We don't have to do that. You know what I mean? We don't have this. The 4th of July is coming up. We was in slavery. Why are we celebrating the 4th of July? Why are we? Right now, you see flags is everywhere. Barbecues is being set up. I seen a brother, you know what I'm saying, buying a whole slap of ribs. We want to go back. Look, We want to go back into slavery. Because if you celebrate the 4th of July, you walk, you know what I'm saying? We that walk down into Egypt. We walking back into Egypt. We don't.
And have not asked at my mouth.
We don't go on.
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
Go on.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Not acts of my mouth. We're going to not ask for the Most High mouth to strengthen themselves. Once we get counsel for the Most High, once we get counsel and understand that we fear the Lord, we could go anywhere and stand on business. And stand on with the Mojums, stand on the Lord's statute commandments and who we are. We could fight with the Most High. God is with us. It's with us. You know what I'm saying? Once we get in front of this Pharaoh, we speak the truth to Pharaoh. Because we restricted by the Most High God. Okay? And you know what that means? God's ways is the only ways for brotherhood and sisterhood. That's it. Read on.
Verse 3.
No, read the last one and 2. Say right here.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
And to trust into the shadow of Egypt, the place of bondage. We trust in the place of America, which is spiritual Egypt, who bonded the 12 tribes of Israel. We trust in this stuff. Don't you think it's time to trust in the Most High God now? We don't try to trust in America. America is a hypocrisy, and they broke all the treaties, and they have been lying to us. We still saying, why is there still racism? We still talking like this. God ways is the only way for brotherhood and sisterhood. And with that, I'm Precinct Officer Parataza out of No Cali, Yonkers, New York. And this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. ISUPK started for 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Jimmy Muhammad. And since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. God's ways is the only way for brotherhood and sisterhood. With that, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pass the class over to priest and officer of 1,000 Sha'al.
Put up in the class. Right. ISUPK security announcements. We on ISUPK started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Room for new brother and sister. When the new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10 means 10th in the Hebrew ma'ash. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, which will be the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets, which is September 21st. That will be on a Sunday. Any ISUPK events, look on the back of your bulletin board for further update, or go to isupk.com, which is our website. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, blue shirt, pants, headband, scarf, and with that, men of Israel, Amadia, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we will give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amadia Shabbat, Amadia, Barak, Yahweh Bashim Yahushabrak, Yad Yamatah, which means hands down. Men of Israel, we will give one Courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel. Michael Shabbat. Amadi, Barak, Yahweh Shema, Thamba Shim Yam Shai. Yeah, Yamataw, which means hands down, class dismissed.